Hello, everyone. I'm Tom Wistersell.
I'm JT Wistersell.
We'd like to welcome you to another edition of From the Couch. It's the Super Bowl. JT, are you fired up?
Of course. Biggest game of the year, commercials, performances, all thrown into one big Sunday night.
Yeah, should be a great Sunday. So this is our Super Bowl preview show. We'll give you a little outline here. We kind of got three things going on this episode. Number one, we're going to talk about the big quarterback trade between the Rams and the Lions. Then we're going to talk about our award winners for the various NFL awards. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl, give a little kind of key to victory for each team, and then we're going to pick the winner and the score.
Yes.
We're going to say both. So that's what we're going to do. So let's not mess around. Let's get right at it. JT, huge trade in the NFL this past week. What are your thoughts?
2 first-round picks from Mathew Stafford is absolutely justifiable to me. The gap between him and Goff is pretty big. I think you're talking about a top 10 quarterback to a guy in the past in Goff who I guess you'd say top 20, but we said that when he has a great supporting cast. Matthew Stafford has been in there with some good receivers, but never a strong run game in his career. So I really think it's a good trade. I think it makes the Rams already at the Super Bowl contender instantly versus this year we saw them win playoff games with their defense stepping up and playing big. This year, I think the offense can carry the load too. Stafford could have a Rodgers-like season because Matt LaFleur comes from the McVay tree. He'll be entering the same offense, so I expect big things out of Stafford, and I think it was worth it. For the Lions, it wasn't the best offense. This was hard, right? They did right by their franchise quarterback. They passed on the 8th overall pick, according to Albert Breer, and decided to send Stafford to his desired destination. As a business, if we're grading it from a business standpoint, it's not a good move to go from 8 to picks in the late 20s, more than likely, right? So from that standpoint, I criticize it. But I got to applaud him for doing right by their QB. I don't think Jared Goff is the guy, and they should still draft a quarterback at 8, but it's a lot of money they still have to pay him over the next few years. But I really like it for the Rams.
Well, here's my thought on this. I think the Rams are a Super Bowl contender in the next couple of years.
Agreed.
I think Stafford's that good. He's been with nobody, and now he's with a legit offense and an excellent coach. I think the Rams are there. I think the Lions are a dumpster fire. I think it was a horrible trade for them. I get you feel loyalty in that, but this is not, let's not kumbaya. We're making friends in this business. This is a business about winning. And if I'm a Lions fan, I'm like, well, you really don't care because you took a lesser value, just to make the guy happy? No.
Yeah. If
you're getting rid of him, then do what's best for your franchise and try to set up for winning. I think it just firmly cements them at the bottom of their division, as they usually are. And so I think it's a horrible trade for the Lions. And, but oh well, seems like Goff said he's happy to go somewhere he's going to be appreciated. But we'll wait and see how long that appreciation lasts when they draft a quarterback in the first round. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, and he realizes the position, all the skill players, all the roster in general is just worse around him.
Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out. But all right, let's talk awards. Some of these we've talked
about. Honors.
NFL honors. Let's. It's going to be awarded when? This Saturday?
Saturday night. Yeah, they give them all the big awards out.
Okay. All right. So we'll go back and forth on each one here. We'll start with the MVP. JT, who you got?
Like I said earlier, I joined the train. It will be Aaron Rodgers, 48 touchdown passes, 4,000 yards, led the Packers to the best record in the NFC. He was dominant. You got to give it to him, what he got done, the level he took, the storyline coming into the season. Will he go on a revenge campaign since they drafted Jordan Love? He lived up to that and some. Great season by Rodgers. And a key thing to remember for all these awards, this is a regular season award list.
Yeah, no-brainer at MVP. Could probably look back about 6 or 8 episodes when I started that Aaron Rodgers is going to win the MVP train. He was simply amazing in the regular season. So he's going to win it. All right, Offensive Player of the Year. I'm going first.
All right, let's hear it.
And that, to me, there were 2 dominant offensive players in the NFL this year. There was Aaron Rodgers, and then there was Derrick Henry. So to me, Derrick Henry is the Offensive Player of the Year. That's where I'm sticking with. He is a powerful force when he has the ball. Who are you going with?
Derrick Henry's a beast. I think you just disrespected Patrick Mahomes. I will say that by saying there were only 2 dominant forces, and you absolutely disrespected Travis Kelce having the best tight end season a tight end's ever had in terms of regular season. But I went with Derrick Henry as well for this award. I just think that was a little disrespectful what you said to those guys. Can't ignore 2,000 yards and 17 touchdowns for King Henry.
it's disrespectful to be third or fourth, but
You
that's
said it was a
okay. I
two-man
get it.
race.
It was, to me, it is a two-man race. So, all right. So, defensive player of the year, JT, what are you thinking?
Yeah, this is where we're going to disagree, I know for a fact. Even though the hat is not on, I know your heart resides in Steeler Nation. The best defensive player deserves to win this award. That is Aaron Donald. 13.5 sacks, 20 tackles for loss. He's the best player in the NFL, and the thing I love about him is he elevates the other guys around him. Because of the attention he draws, the Sebastian Joseph Days, the Leonard Floyds, the John Foxes, I think that's the D-tackle's name, those guys eat around him because of the attention and the dominance he has. He is the best player in the NFL at his position. I understand the positional value of quarterbacks. Donald's the best defensive player, deserves Defensive Player of the Year.
Absolutely, he is the best defensive tackle in the NFL. No doubt about it. He's the most dominant defensive tackle in the NFL. Probably the best defensive lineman in the NFL. He's not the MVP on the defensive side of the ball this year. That is Watt for the Steelers. You gotta give it to TJ. It's about, remember, they give awards for stats, and he dominates the stats. Now, Donald would say, well, I get double teamed all the time. I'm not going to get the stats, but Watt deserves it. It's about stats. Everybody wants to sack the quarterback. Nobody's better than him at it. He deserves it. The anti-Steeler thoughts are bothering me, but we'll go with that. So, all right. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I think we might differ on this one as well.
I think we will.
I'm sorry to say the most important position in sports is one position.
Oh,
It's not goalie in hockey. Nope. It's not point guard in the NBA. It's quarterback. And Justin Herbert had an amazing year and a very average football team. He made them dangerous. So I'm going to have to go with Herbert. I have a little quarterback bias, but nonetheless, I think he is the Offensive Rookie of the Year. JT.
well, then let me take you up to Minnesota, where the 22nd overall pick coming in, expectations, has to come in there and replace Stephon Diggs. And he doesn't just do things that Stephon Diggs didn't even do. He did things that Randy Moss didn't even do. Broke Randy Moss's record for most receiving yards in a season, 1,400. That was good for fourth in the NFL. He was fourth in the NFL in yards for wide receivers. Herbert was eighth in terms of yardage for quarterbacks. Important there as well, I think. He was dominant, inside, outside, great at adjusting the balls, making big plays. Didn't even start the first 2 games of the season, but exploded onto the scene and into the end zone, hitting the gritty, and he better be hitting it across the stage on Saturday night. He deserves and needs to win this award, making history.
I honestly would love to see him win it. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So there we go. All right. Defensive Rookie of the Year.
This is pretty
To me, this is not a real tough choice. JT, who you got?
Chase Young, 7.5 sacks, 13 tackles for loss, helped the team get to the postseason, just a dominant pass rusher. Yes, it's a really good defensive line, but he already may be the best guy along it. I love what Antoine Winfield Jr. did, but this isn't close. Chase Young dominated.
Yeah, 100% Chase Young. And actually was a part of my favorite quote of the year. I think you'll remember this. Skins against the Steelers. Chase Young's over there, and Mike Tomlin says to him, God, I like you. I hope I never am bad enough to draft a player like you. That's how good he looks and plays for the Skins. A dominant player, a perennial All-Pro for the next 10 years. So, all right, Coach of the Year.
Coach of the Year to me is Kevin Stefanski. He broke a 19-year postseason drought for the Browns. Also, you could say, oh, they have a lot of talent. Well, how did Freddie Kitchens do connecting that talent the year before? He came in, he created a winning culture, helped them win a playoff team and beat a team in the Steelers.
A playoff game.
A playoff game,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Helped them win a playoff game, which was a big-time performance by them. Even though he didn't coach in the game, he built the foundation for them to go succeed. I'm a huge Kevin Stefanski fan. Coming over from the Vikings, I think he deserves to win this award.
I want to give this award to Brian Flores so bad because I think the Dolphins weren't good. I didn't think they had great talent, and he made them into a winner. And so I really want to give it to him. But unfortunately, I gotta agree with you. And Stefanski deserves it. When you basically take the same roster with a couple of players and you turn it into a team that wins a playoff game. And so credit to them. And I hope you know how hard that pains me to give the Browns any award. But nonetheless, I think he deserves the Coach of the Year. So, Comeback Player of the Year, I don't think it's a lot either. I think it's got to be Alex Smith. An amazing story. Hopefully you saw the 30 for 30 on him, and if not, you need to watch it. Just an amazing story, and he deserves it, whatever he gets.
It was almost going to be given him just for coming back. And then he still played pretty good football, helped this team reach the playoffs. That was something we didn't expect. He was the best quarterback for the Washington football team, despite at one point a few years ago thinking he'd never play again, and they might have to amputate his leg. So it's an incredible story. Undoubtedly, the award will go to Alex Smith.
Yeah. Okay. So there's our honors. So now let's talk about the Super Bowl, JT. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about kind of a key for each team for the game coming up. Which team, you're going to go first with the team, I'm going to go first. Which team are you going to pick?
I will go with the Chiefs key first.
Okay, go ahead. Chiefs, what do you think about the Chiefs?
The offensive line, can the tackles hold up? I believe Mitchell Schwartz, who's their really good right tackle, he hasn't played in a few weeks. It's looking like he's actually going to play. As of the injury report, when I last checked it, he was not on it, so I think he's going to be in. But is he 100%? I don't think so. And going up Shaq Barrett, who leads the NFL in sacks when you combine the last 2 seasons together, it's a tall task for him. And then the left side, this is when it's a real struggle here. Jason Pierre-Paul has been on a tear this season. He was the one who made it to the Pro Bowl this year over Shaq Barrett, and he had a great game in the NFC Championship game, dominating their backup left tackle on the Packers. Mike Remmers is their left tackle. I, as a Viking fan, know that's not a recipe for success, considering, and he's also on his 3rd team in 3 years, Remmers is. So can they protect and keep Mahomes? Can they keep those guys off the edge? And if they can't keep those guys off the edge, how is the interior going to hold up? This offensive line in general has been very shaky this year. Mahomes excels when he can get outside of the pocket. Can they collapse the pocket from everywhere? That's a concern I have. If they can hold up, the Chiefs are going to, it could be a blowout because it'll be really hard to stop them if you don't get pressure on them.
All right. We didn't compare notes, but my key takeaway for the Chiefs is exactly the same. It's about protecting Mahomes with a damaged offensive line. And I'm not sure they're going to be able to do it. I did not know that the right tackle might play. I thought both tackles were out, and they had newcomers there and non-starters, I should say. And but I mean, I think that's the key. Number one, if you can protect Mahomes, then that changes the game. So, all right, I'm going to talk about the Bucs, and I'm going to put it really plainly. They have to create turnovers against the Chiefs. Now, part of that could be if they put pressure on Mahomes and he makes some bad passes. If they get into if it's a fast break game, a high scoring game, this game's over. But if they can turn the ball over, they need to win the turnover battle. If they can turn the ball over, I think they have a chance to win. And I think it's very simple. Football's a simple game. Usually if you turn the ball over, you lose. If the Chiefs turn the ball over, they can lose this game. I think that's the key for the Bucs. What do you think about the Bucs?
I'm going back to the trenches. No surprise there because I played there. In the 5 losses this year the Buccaneers have had, they have lost to the Saints, the Bears, the Rams, the Saints twice, and then the Chiefs also. Those teams have the best defensive lines or the best defensive linemen for the most part on their rosters. That's the difference in those games to me. They couldn't protect Brady against the dominant pass rushers. One of those losses, I mentioned the Chiefs. Frank Clark, Chris Jones, those guys are big threats to this offense, and I think it's going to be really key. They have to be able to hold up and help protect Brady. Another key stat also, when he has not been pressured in the playoffs, Brady is a 61% completion percentage. When he's under pressure, 28%. That number drastically drops, and on one of the 4 times he was pressured last week against the Packers, he did throw an interception. So you've got to keep him upright. Their right guard, his name is Aaron Stinney. He starts at right guard for them. This is only his 3rd NFL game. If he gets one-on-one next to Chris Jones, that's a massive problem. So they got to help protect him. Watch out for Frank Clark, too. They have got to keep Brady up. Whichever team protects their quarterback better is going to win this game. That may sound simple, but with the amount of game-wrecking pass rushers in this game, I really think that's the key to both sides, and especially this Buccaneers team. If they can't protect Brady, like I said earlier, this could get ugly.
Yeah, no, good stuff there. So, all right, game predictions, JT.
Yeah.
Give me what's going to happen and what's the final score.
You mentioned turnovers, but I'm going to talk about the turnovers for Tom Brady. I think he's going to have at least 2 turnovers in this game, whether it's a strip sack, throws an interception. I just think he's been a little careless with the ball. He hasn't been on the money as much. A couple of the pressure times they'll get through, and I think that's going to be the difference. I don't think they're going to be able to stop this Chiefs offense. It's just too hard with Kelsey, Mahomes, and Tyreek Hill. It's just too much to overcome. Chiefs win 42-31, and the MVP at the Super Bowl will be Travis Kelce, who will have a 3-touchdown performance, over 100 yards, capping off the best tight end season we have ever seen.
Wow, there's a lot of wows in that one. So that might be the highest scoring Super Bowl ever, maybe, there you mentioned. So, maybe. Okay, yeah. We'll see. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think that I really have trouble picking against Tom Brady. Yeah. I do think that the Bucs are going to put a substantial amount of pressure on Mahomes. And I think that he's going to play a good game, but not a great game. the talent level, I think the Chiefs' offense is spectacular. And so the Bucs are going to have trouble scoring enough points to hang with them. I do think that the Buccaneers win the game, though. I think in the end, they make enough stops. Mahomes makes a turnover under pressure, and Brady drives them down the field to win the game. I'm going to pick them 24-20. Buccaneers over the Chiefs in a much lower scoring game than he's thinking.
Yes.
There's
Tom
my
Brady,
thought right there.
Super Bowl MVP for you?
Super Bowl MVP, Tom Brady. I know that's a real stretch for people there, right? But that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So
can we talk about how funny it is really fast that no matter who wins the game, oh, how did I pick against them? Oh, how did I pick against Tom Brady? Oh, how did I pick against the Chiefs and stop the offense? No matter what, you're going to be kicking yourself no matter what you pick or bet on.
Well, that's why it makes it a great game to watch, and we'll look forward to it. So we'll be back next time, and we'll do our Super Bowl review.
Yes.
About what happened and look forward to that. So that sound good?
That sounds great.
All right.
Ready for the big game.
There you go.
All of our videos culminating in this game.
Yes. So that'd be great. We look forward to seeing you next time on another edition of From the Couch. We'll see you then.